Allow us to present to you Gershom, son of Jonah from the Karaite Sons of Israel, a rational monotheist, chairman of the Leiden Institute of Rational Monotheism, or avid supporter. Since last year, Gershom has made two important discoveries, clear signs of the Code 19 in the Torah and the Gospel. As we know, Quran mentions a large number of prophets, but only 5 different scriptures. The Scrolls of Abraham, the Book of Genesis, which opens the Bible, the Torah of Moses, the Psalms of David, the Gospel, and in fact the Quran itself. So what are these discoveries made by Gershom? In this section we will briefly talk about one of them, namely the Code 19 found in the Torah. The first person to mention about this code was Deep Yuxel, the student of the late Rashad Khalifa. However, complete and detailed data was unavailable at the time. Last year, in the Royal Library of Hague on July 19th, Gershom discovered new information regarding Code 19, and thus the fragmented mosaic of details was put together into a complete body of evidence. In the library, Gershom found a book by an Israeli author, Professor Joseph Dana, which tells the story of a Rabbi Judah the Pious, who was involved in numerological research of the Old Testament text. As a specimen, here is a piece of the text mentioned by Deep. At first sight, it seems as if the text has no connection. He simply gives it as a model, but if we look further, something truly remarkable is happening. Here it says that he criticizes those people who add to their prayers one more of what we call verse. He states that such practice is unlawful since it leads to the increase in the number of holy names, making it 20, while it has to be 19. It attracts my attention, but Deep's text was too vague until I finally noticed a footnote, under number 19 by the way. And the footnote explains this in detail, quoting a certain complete piece of the biblical text. We call it parasha, or it can also be called chapter. Just like the Quran has suras, the Pentateuch has parashas.
Но в принципе параша это подобно тому, как, наверное, в какой-то степени можно сказать, как глава. Вот есть в Коране, как бы сура, но точно так же есть параша в тексте Пятикнижия.
Here we demonstrate the translation of the biblical text, wherein Code 19 was discovered by Gershom. And you will find 19 times the word Elohim, that is God, in the weekly chapter in the Torah. You will also find 19 signs in the description of the 6th day of creation in chapter Genesis, that is the Scrolls of Abraham. And also you will find that the Almighty, blessed be He, is called the Father of all things 19 times, and 19 times the prayer, Sliha in the Pentateuch. And 19 times in the Pentateuch, Abrahamic formula is cited, Isaac and Jacob, and there is 19 blessings in the chapters of the Torah. It is known now that Rabbi Judah the Pious claimed that such 19 word sets are amazingly interwoven within the text of the Torah. It is known that Yehuda the Pious wrote 8 volumes on this subject, but unfortunately they have not survived. Also, it is worthy of mentioning that Yehuda had done his numerological studies of the sacred scriptures without being a Kabbalist. According to Gershom, the evidence for the presence of the Code 19 was discovered not just in the Torah, but in the Gospel as well. In May of this year, such data became available. Our Karaite friend explains that a 4-lettered name of God, the Tetragrammaton, is found exactly 19 times in the text of the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew, which is the most authentic and ancient of the existing versions according to the early church fathers. It should be noted that the Tetragrammaton, the name of God of the ancient Hebrews, is considered to be so sacred that the Judaists are afraid to even say it out loud. Instead, they denote it in the post-biblical text with the letter Hey. Gershom is convinced that the Code 19 is the key to preserving the text of the scriptures from the corrupted clergy, as well as to prove their divine origin.